Hello, ho, 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 Irregular Nation. What is going on today? Well, tonight. Welcome to another episode of Irregular Thoughts with the Irregular Neil. So, okay, on this episode of Irregular Thoughts, HBO is now diving into the video game realm, and they are going to be doing an adaptation of a video game that I love. And I'm not a big gamer, just so everybody knows. You'll see as I lean down there, all that stuff behind me. You'll see the arcade boxes. You got Star Wars, Turtles, Pac-Man 40th anniversary. I've got a PS4, of course. But I never was a huge gamer. But I always loved a good storyline game. And let me tell you something, Naughty Dog always put out some good stuff. Uncharted, great series, and The Last of Us, which is what HBO is about to do. Okay. But what I do like about this, before we get into any details on it, is that it's going to be a series. And the fact that it's going to be a series is actually probably a good thing. I mean, because in my mind, honestly, with certain properties that you put out there, having a series allows you to flesh things out. You can flesh a character out. You can flesh out a storyline, something that you're trying to tell, so to speak. So I'm digging that. I think actually HBO might be going in the right direction when it comes to this. It didn't say excuse me. I'm assuming it's HBO Max, or they're just gonna say HBO, whatever. And that's gotta be fucking kick ass. I mean, at least I think so. That's my hope. Because one thing HBO does do is they do put money into their shows. I will say that. Game of Thrones. I didn't get into Game of Thrones. It's just not my cup of tea, that kind of era of things. No, it has some badassery, but, and where I go into that is because the two lead roles do come from that. And then one of the lead roles is just been on fire lately. The guy's fucking in everything. Anything he's touching, well, it's not everything he's touching is turning into gold, but the man's a good actor. But yeah, I mean, let's click on that. So as I throw that in there, here we go, right there. So as you can see in the headline right here from Screen Rant, everything we know about HBO's The Last of Us series. And as you can see right there, Mr. Pedro Pascal is going to be playing the main character, Joel. And Joel is a pretty badass character. But what you look at, right, you'll say, well, he doesn't really look like him too much. Well, you could see it here and there. I mean, obviously the man doesn't grow a full beard, as we can see. He's got the, he doesn't have the connectors here, and all that, but come on. You just put some fake hair on this guy, and you know what? He's gonna look like him, and they'll make up the shit out of him anyway. So I like that. He's a good actor. He did great in The Mandalorian. I didn't see him in Game of Thrones. I thought he was great in Wonder Woman 84, even though that was a movie. As I say that, I am a DC fan, so don't get upset. It just wasn't a very well done movie. But Pedro Pascal in that, he did shine in that. That guy, he seems to be a very good character actor too. Like, he really gets into his roles. I actually, not for nothing, I would have liked to have seen him cast as Nathan Drake for the Uncharted series, even though they chose Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg as Sully. I would have rather seen, hell, everybody wants to see Nathan Fillion, of course, but, where he's at in his age, this and that. I mean, they could have tried that if they really wanted to. And they did do a fan film with Nathan Fillion, however the hell you say it, for the Uncharted. Some fan did it, and it was really good, and he was fucking nailing all of it. But hell, here we go. And as I was just talking about Uncharted, Bruce Campbell would have been perfect for Sully, just so everybody knows. And I've had this discussion with another friend. Anyway, so as we go down, so everybody gets a little bit of an idea of what The Last of Us is. The Last of Us takes place in a broken world soon after society collapsed from a zombie-esque outbreak. The cordyceps brain infection, a mutated variant of the cordyceps fungus, spreads quickly through the population, killing the infected or turning them into violent, mindless creatures. And they are called bloaters in that. And I will take you... What I'm going to do in this quick little video of my irregular thoughts is... I'm going to give you this, and then I'm going to take you guys into Last of Us story trailer. It's about like just under 2 minutes, and I will show you what the bloaters look like, and I'm also going to show you the opening scene of that game, because let me tell you something. This game is very cinematic, and it had a hell of a storyline, and the relationship between him and the other main character, Ellie, who's going to be played by another Game of Thrones actress, but apparently she wasn't like a big part in that. I mean, whatever. Like I said, I didn't watch that show, so okay. But she looks like Ellie. But you know, like I said, we'll see how it all adapts and all that. The one thing I will tell you before we continue reading a little bit right here is that they do have the original writer and directors of the game coming in to work with Craig Massin. I don't know if I'm saying that. And he created the miniseries Chernobyl. I never watched that, but apparently that was pretty good. So maybe I'll check that out later on in the year. Why not? Because now, as I had no idea that this was coming out. When I saw this, I was like, get the fuck out of here. They're doing a Last of Us series? Oh, shit. That could be good. I like the fact that you have basically where I go with that is that at least, you know, you're going to have your original writer, directors of the video games being in there saying, all right, we're going to stay true to what we're doing here because the story itself within the game is good. What happens in the game is exciting. You know, it has that emotions, and I'll show you the opening scene, and that is a tearjerker, I must say. I mean, you have to play the game a little bit. I'm just going to show you a short little bit of it, but, you know. So where I left off there, as the infection can spread via airborne spores as well as bites, survivors often wear gas masks to protect themselves in certain situations. So not only can you get bit in this, you know, zombie apocalyptic world, you also can get it from just breathing in the air of the fungus that was created. So yeah. And of course you have your tyrannical governments that are still around, and they hold little factions in certain parts of the city. And then you have your crazed gangs and stuff throughout this. So, you know, of course, you know, if you've ever seen The Walking Dead, you're not only fighting the zombies and the monsters, you're also fighting the other monsters, which is us, the human race. So it's going to have, like, that's why, I mean, when you look at this, that it's going to become a series, you're like, oh, okay, you know, you can get more behind it than putting it into like a 2-hour movie. And let me tell you something, most of the video game movies that have ever come out kind of suck. I mean, you had Mortal Kombat that came out when I was a kid in the 90s, and that was cool to watch. And it was exciting. They paid the fan service, but all in all, it's not a good movie. You had the Resident Evil franchise. You had some good action in that, but at the end of the day, it was like whatever. Super Mario Brothers, if anybody remembers that. Double Dragon. I mean, the list can go on for video game movies that haven't worked. But also, I don't know if this is the first time you're going to get a video game adaptation into a series. It might be. And I think that's a very smart idea. So, anyway, there we go. As I'm scrolling right down. So this is from Game. That's going to be Ellie. And then there you go. That's going to be our Joel. I like it. They look the part. And they're definitely going to put a beard on them. So anybody that's like, oh, I can't grow face hair. Don't worry. They're going to put a beard on him. I mean, come the fuck on, people. Get over it already. You have to put a person like this in the forefront of something like this because don't forget, nobody, if people aren't into the gaming world and all that, no one's going to know about this. They're going to say, oh, another zombie show or whatever. No, this has got a lot of other elements to it. And I think, by looking at that, that's pretty good casting in my mind. And you got to put a person that everybody knows right now. And they're going to be like, ooh, Pedro Pascal, The Mandalorian, Game of Thrones, Wonder Woman 84. Oh, I got to check this out. What is this about? So it makes sense, everybody. It makes sense. But other than that, within this article, there's not a ton of stuff that I'm not already telling you. See, now, as you can see right there, this is what they look like in the video game. And I'm going to show you guys a preview anyway. So you get the gist of all of that for anybody that doesn't know about this. There's Joel, there's Ellie, and Ellie in the game has immunity. She was bit, but she has no symptoms, no nothing. She's actually she's immune to the virus. So she's kind of almost like a cure potentially, like within her blood. So there's a lot of layers to this game also. I mean, the survival aspects and all that kind of stuff is very exciting it was very exciting to play it. So watching it, they can make this very cinematic if they wanted to. And HBO, in my mind, does a good job. I mean, if you've never seen Raised by Wolves, watch that. Yeah, so as we're saying right here, let's read this real quick. The Last of Us TV series story will primarily focus on and adapt the events of the first game, telling the story of how Joel and Ellie met and their original journey together. That is a good thing. Mazin and Drunkman is one of the creators of the game, have said that the show could expand on the game's original story content, but only in ways meant to flesh out what's already there. So anybody worried about them not staying true to the game or just putting in all these kind of aspects just to, hit certain demographics, they're not going to do that. They're going to throw little things here and there, but this is something, I think that you'll be drawn to or you're not. If you like the zombie horror kind of element, you're going to just go and watch this anyway, in my mind. So yeah, let's get away from that real quick. Stop sharing that. And I'm going to take everybody to a quick little story trailer from The Last of Us. So let's share that for you as we go in here. Okay. And I want to give you right here. Okay. So turn that up for everybody. Make sure we're shared for you. All right. There we go. Okay. And we are going to hit play. Just give everybody a watch here. Just get into it. As you can see, some of the cinematic stuff, and keep in mind, this is from 2013, 2012, and it was remastered. There's a bloater. I mean, look at the game itself right there. Oof. There's Ellie. And Ellie is badass in this. I mean, you can already see Pedro Pascal playing this character in my mind. And you could see that little girl. There's some of the evil government. A lot of fucked up shit goes on in this game. It's not just a straight go kill it and do stupid shit. You have to strategically do things. It's intense, as you can see.
What are you so afraid of?
Ooh, there's a ooh, take his ass out. Bloater. A lot of intense human elements in this show. well, not show, in this game that happened. Eventually will be show. So yeah, that was when they remastered it. That's PS3. They remastered it for PS4. So as you could see, that right there is an old trailer. It's an old trailer, but it was quite a badass game. Not gonna lie when it comes to that. That game was fucking badass. Anybody that hasn't played it, I am gonna end up going back to play this. Because I'm gonna get excited when it starts coming out, and then I'm gonna want to like refresh my head. Because I'm even trying to refresh my head while I'm doing this right here with you, trying to remember certain aspects of it. And I didn't have my headphones in there, so I couldn't hear everything, obviously. But that's all right, as long as you were all able to hear that. So let me show you what a bloater looks like real fast. Bring you all to that. Okay. Got to share that. So now, as you can see, that is a bloater. Bloaters are freaky. And as you can see the fungus growing off the bloaters themselves. Now, I don't know how they're going to do this in the show alone. I'm hope if you have the original directors and everything right there, you're going to keep these. They're gonna be in there. These things are fucking freaky as hell. As you get, they kind of look like they're growing into fungus. So they're like once human that grow into fungus in a way, like fungus zombies in a way. It's freaky as all hell. They're not easy to kill in the game, so you know they're not going to be easy to kill in the show. And like I said, in the game, like ammo is scarce, everything you're salvaging, you're rummaging through stuff, you're gathering, you have to find food, you have to find ways. All the different factions. And I remember like you would have to construct bombs out of like tools and all this kind of stuff. And you'd have to, and the bloaters, they respond to sound. So they can't see, obviously, as you can see from that freaky looking son of a bitch. Like there's a spot where you're shooting the shit out of them right there, Joel and Ellie. Yeah. I'm assuming that these little bastards, not little bastards, are going to look intense in the show. And, you know, like I said, you have to be strategic in killing these. So watching that in live action with a Pedro Pascal, and if you remember him from The Mandalorian, watching him with that, it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. I'm actually getting excited about this as I talk about it. Not going to lie. As we are talking about this, I'm getting excited. I really am. I'm like, ooh, like I like what they're doing. So before we wrap this up on our irregular thoughts, let me show you the opening scene, the little tear jerk scene, just to give everybody a little like, oh, all right. And then just kind of take your head and think about how they're going to put that in the show. Plug that in. Put it in my headphones because I even want to hear this one. Just so everybody knows, I did start it where a certain part happens. So you have a background of what Joel before he even meets Ellie, Joel has a daughter. He's struggling with work, this and that. And I believe his brother comes, and then all shit kind of breaks loose. And then you think you're going to play as the little girl, and she wakes up, and you're like, oh, no, don't tell me they're going to do something that you don't think they're going to do. Well, and I am sure this is going to be in the show, because if it's not, I think you lose all the beats that you normally would have if not. So where I'm going to start us, just before I even hit play, is that the outbreak has started and they have no freaking idea what's going on. It's chaos in the streets. You're running all over the place. The brother's running around with them. He's shooting the shit out of like any people that are just running up to him all fucked up, this, that, the other. And then they get separated And at one point, well, the brother dies at one point, and then what happens is Joel takes his daughter and he's trying to protect her, and some stuff happens. So let's hit play. This is the beginning scene.
Hey, you need help. Stop! I think her leg is broken. Stop right there! Not sick. Got a couple of things.
What about him?
You said. Just need your help. We just need.
Okay, the brother wasn't dead yet. Sorry. Told you I forgot.
I know. You'll be okay, baby. Stay with me. I'll pick you up. I know. Come on, baby, please. I know, baby. Sarah. Baby.
Damn. Oh my. So I wasn't going to take us through that entire clip. I just wanted to show you guys that and to let you know how intense this game is and how it starts, so you get a feel for Joel's character, who's going to be played by Pedro Pascal. And I think in that scene right there, I mean, even I was getting a little teary right there, because that is, I was just like, are you kidding? So, like I said, I think that this is a really good move. I have a good feeling about this. They've got a lot of stuff they could use. And as you could see with a scene like that, and like I said, that is a video game, everybody. Many video games are cinematic. And like I said, I was always a storyline kind of guy. So all I got to say is bring this series to me. Bring it. And it is, I think, scheduled to come out either 2022, I say 2022 this is going to come out. I can't see it coming out anytime this year. No way. Even though they said they began shooting, but hey. So, just glad I was able to come in here and talk about this, because this was kind of out of left field for me. And I was just like, So, anyway, I want you all to go hit that like, hit that subscribe, and become a part of the Irregular Nation. Because why wouldn't you want to take a ride on the irregular side with this MF? Cheers, everybody.